Hello everybody, my name is iWafflez, and today we are looking at not a super action statue, but an SHF. Something I've been looking forward to for a little bit, now that I've gotten into Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm in the first couple episodes, just taking a break from it to finish Z, and then I'm going to be back on Jujutsu Kaisen, probably catch up on the manga. But this is the SHF, he is the first release. He's sold out pretty much everywhere, except for Amazon. Amazon seems to always have solid pre-order stock. Apparently, I don't know why, but if you want to pick him up, you can pick him up on Amazon. I still believe I will double check that. But the box is very interesting. It's different from a Dragon Ball Z or a Dragon Ball SHF. I like the black and orange, very nice. You see the figure inside, see some side, back, posing, photo, action parts. Alright, but the figure is in the box. Let's take it out and take a closer look. Alright, now here is Itadori out of the box, and he's really nice. I really like the figure. He is they've took a lot of design liberties with this figure. It's definitely a lot like it's very different from an SHF from like Dragon Ball or something. And I kind of like that. It's a very big departure. It's not something you would expect from an SHF. Well, from I usually collect Marvel or Dragon Ball, so it's for me it's a big departure, but um there is some interesting design choices, like instead of using a smaller ball peg like they do on the Dragon Ball figures, they chose to go with a medium-sized one for like chunkier figures, which is a good choice because I like they have less of a chance to break this way. They also use the same ball joint, like the ball peg, as they do on the feet with a metal screw inside. So that's an interesting design choice. And overall, body proportion wise, compared to like anime or manga, he is a little bit chunky. I think the proportioning is a little bit off, tiny. But other than that, it's pretty good, pretty solid. Another thing to note are the hands are a little bit gummy, so they will be easy to remove, and I think that's a really good design choice personally. And the upper suit and then the caps for the shoulders, they're all that gummy-like material too. You can see it gives way pretty easily. It's really good. I don't know if you can actually remove that. I don't want to try that, to be honest, but it gives some decent movement. It does hinder it in some ways. I don't know what that bug was, but it's pretty good. He only has a ball peg at the neck, not a ball hinge peg, which I'm pretty fine with. It's not too big of a deal. He has a cap here for his inner sleeve, so it doesn't always hinder articulation. It moves with the hand for the most part, which is really nice. So now that we've gotten most of the stuff out of the way, let's actually take a look at the accessories. And for accessories, excluding the two fists he has and the original faceplate he has on, he has 3 new faceplates, 2 pairs of original hands, 1 extra hand, and 1 new interchangeable hairpiece, and then these 2 divergent fists, or I forget, I think that's what they're called, divergent fists, or like the cursed energy effects, which are really nice, and I think they're supposed to be lighter in the show. I have to take a look at that again, but the Nendoroid does it different. We'll compare that in a minute. But the 2 pairs of hands he has more open out hands, which are really nice. More like grabby ones, which are also really nice. These are all really sculpted really well. Then the specialty hand is for his left, his left side, and it's with his Sukuna hand. It's really nice, and it even has the mouth and the tongue, and the teeth are actually painted, which is really a unique detail. And the tongue is shiny, like it has saliva on it. It's a really nice feature. It's a good way to include Sukuna without him being fully possessive, which is, speaking of possessed Sukuna, here is the only Sukuna faceplate you get, which is another downfall of this figure, and it's looking down, so it kind of limits your posing options, but not too bad. I hope if Bandai does continue this line, they will, continue making versions of Itadori with the shirtless Sukuna. I love that design and just Sukuna in general. It's really nice, and to go along with that, they give you the alternate hair piece, because when Sukuna shows up, his hair goes up, and it's easy to interchange. It's like most SHF. It'll pop out. You remove the faceplate, which has been the first time I removed it was really hard to do, but other than that, it pops in like that, and it looks pretty good. once again, prefer the shirtless look for Itadori when he's possessed by Sukuna, but that's neither here or there. This is a pre-release version of this. Well, this was up for pre-order before the anime began, so I don't know what they were working with whenever they were designing this figure. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then that's it for accessories. We'll actually take a look at the other faceplates because they're kind of generic in my opinion. He has a screaming one, which is really nice. If it would focus, it's really nice. Kind of meh. And then the typical Bandai faceplate where it's looking to a certain side, and this side is looking to the right. So, kind of a bummer on that regard, but let's actually take a look at articulation, which I think Itadori does very well. So, taking a look at Itadori's articulation in the head, we've already gone over it. It has a ball peg and a ball down there, so it gets some pretty good movement. It gets kind of loose now and then, so you'll have to tighten it eventually. But other than that, it's really loose, and he also has a ball peg down there, I believe. So he gets really good movement considering that, he has a scarf in the way, or whatever that's supposed to be. But he gets pretty good movement. It's very expressive. I like that. He has the, I forget what the butterfly joint, and a ball joint in there, a ball hinge. And it can get up pretty far because the armpit joints are gummy. So you can force it a little bit and it will get out of the way. It can get pretty guard. He can get high up. It's really nice. They also go out a little bit, so it covers up some of the gapping, which you would see on normal SHF, which is really nice. His bicep swivel would be up at that joint as well, which is kind of a bummer. I mean, it does break up sculpt, and it does function pretty well, so if it functions well, I'm fine with it. Double joint elbows, you can also get swivel at these, but it's not good enough swivel. He has, once again, the ball hinge right there, and the floating cap that will go along with the hand, so it doesn't look too bad. Torso articulation is pretty decent, considering the gummy piece once again. He can bend forward that much, which is nice. Bend back a lot, but be careful with this because it can get snagged every now and then because it is two rubber-like pieces rubbing together, so they will eventually catch. He has a torso. He has lower waist articulation too, and you can also rotate up here, but it makes more sense to rotate down here. His leg articulation is actually pretty decent. He can kick up, but if you lift up the skirt a little bit, he can get pretty high up. He can get right about just even. He can't kick back because of the gluteus sculpt. He can kick out pretty decently. Once again, you'll have to probably move this out, and it can only get that far out, which is not too bad. Thigh swivel, double jointed knees, don't get all the way up to kick his own rear end. Quite unfortunate. And then he has the ball hinge right there, where he can get up, down, good ankle pivot actually, then a toe hinge. So decent articulation. I mean, actually more than decent. It's pretty above average for a important figure nowadays, considering I've looked at Medico's figures that have less articulation. So this is pretty interesting. I really like the articulation. It really will help with posing. And now let's get it to size comparisons and his height. And so Itadori stands at right about 5 3/4 tall, and then in centimeters he'll be just about 14.5 centimeters. So that's a pretty good scale. I don't know how tall he is supposed to be canonically, but so I don't know how he'll fudge in with other collections. And speaking of other collections, let's take a look at some other figures that I have beside me. We'll look at the domestic version of the Jazzwares Fortnite Tomato Head. Once again, another favorite of my figures, favorite domestic-wise. He scales pretty well with a domestic figure. It's not that bad. Let's take another look at another one. Marvel Legends. He kind of scales pretty good with them. I think this is supposed to be like an average dude. I have customized. I put a Chris Pratt head on it because, Chris Pratt's cool. Here he is compared to another SHF, and you'll never believe it. It's the Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku. I didn't pull out my Bardock, unfortunately. But he looks pretty good. I don't know if Goku is supposed to be smaller than him. Once again, I don't know the canonical scale of Itadori, but I think he'll be fine. And then before we look at the Nendoroid of Itadori, let's look at the amazing Yamaguchi or Revoltech Izuku Midoriya or Deku. And I think they're good because, both are teenagers, so both will be growing at a different rate. So I think that's fine. You can fudge it in. I fudged it in with some pictures. And then I don't know why I wanted to include this size comparison. I just mostly wanted to look at the Nendoroid Itadori. Look how cute he is. He's so cute. And that's another downfall of this figure. He doesn't come with a happy face. And what
This one does. It's so cute. Okay.
and also the Divergent Fist effect is a lot brighter on this. I actually like that. And according to some of my friends who've watched, who know more about Jujutsu Kaisen, have confirmed that it is the better effect. Other than that, let's get to the final verdict on if you should purchase Itadori or even get lucky to find one. So here I have Itadori all posed up and looking really nice. And so the final verdict, should you get this figure? Well, his original retail price overseas was $4,500. I believe Amazon is $56 plus shipping and tax. That'll bring you about $65. So is he worth American price 60, or people will be selling him for a higher price, like I'm guessing hundreds, because this is a popular anime currently, so they will be upcharging it up the wazoo. So what should you pay for it? In my opinion, the retail price is the perfect price. This figure comes with a mediocre amount of accessories considering how far Jujutsu Kaisen has come as an anime and manga, so kind of mediocre accessories. I hope Bandai does continue the line, because I really want more figures from Jujutsu Kaisen besides Gojo and Itadori. But God, Gojo's a gorgeous man, but we're not on Gojo, we're on Itadori. Bandai is known for launching anime figures before the actual anime launches, and the line does somewhat well, like the figure sells well, and then Bandai just abandons the line. But I think because all these have sold out, like all the pre-orders have sold out everywhere pretty much, I think this line will continue, and I hope it does, because like I said, I want more Jujutsu Kaisen figures, and not just the Nendoroids. But yeah, he's a solid pickup. The only downfalls is I wanted more Sukuna expressions, more, I don't know, I wanted a shirtless option, but I don't think Bandai would ever give us that in one figure release. I'd want a smiling Itadori head, or just a happy expression for Itadori. Some of the articulation's kind of jank. His torso articulation gets kind of caught on the pieces, which can hinder articulation in some areas. So if you're a fan of Jujutsu Kaisen, this is a definite pickup. It's an easy, go ahead and buy. But if you're just interested in the figure, like the figure line, go ahead and buy it anyway, because it supports the figure line and tells Bandai that Dragon Ball is not the only thing that will sell SHF wise. And they'll want to invest more into this line, and I really want more figures. So thank you for coming to the review of the Itadori. He just released pretty much, so I wanted to take a quick look at him because he is fun to pose. Regardless of no villains he has to fight, or no curses to fight, I think he's a fun figure to pose, just a fun figure to goof around with. Yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll be doing another Super Action Statue review after this one. I just had a lot to say about Itadori, and I appreciate you watching. And like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think about Jujutsu Kaisen, or even the Itadori figure itself. Are you excited for Gojo? Because I am. So yeah, see y'all later in the next Super Action Statue review.